Welcome back to another episode of 3 or 4 or Wifey. Today talking about the biggest harlot in all of Hollywood and in all social media. In these circles, we are talking about the girl that Dylan Dennis has made a complete grift and career off of. We're talking about Nina Agdal, if you know what her name is. This girl is 31 years old, is this like Scandinavian Danish model who is apparently dating Logan Paul. She's 3 years older than him, by the way. 31 years old, dating a 28-year-old, already a red flag. The second thing I wanted to tell you is that we're going to ascertain whether or not you would commit to this chick or if she's more of a recreational sort of hobby sort of thing. So we're going to break that down right now. So if you were to look at the screen here that I'm sharing, you're going to notice a black void. But after you set that out and you fix it, you'll immediately see what her website looks like. And her website looks like a freaking mess. The reason why I say that is because right here, you're looking at a girl that is promising, basic white girl, like good vibes, when in reality, she's not offering you that at all. So if you look here, you'll notice automatically that she's already kind of skinny in shape. You would think, this girl could be like 25, but turns out she's 31. So already there's a consortium of women that are almost about to hit the wall that are like not aging yet, but I mean, there's not a lot of tread on the tires. This is a prime example right here. And again, she's a model, so she's used to having all sorts of creams and whatever. So again, buyers beware. This apple's going to go rotten in 2 days, even if it looks fresh off the tree. So that's one point. So she has a cool lifestyle. She cleans up well. We get that. She has her own little thing. She gives you the appearance of like the trad wife, again, in the kitchen, very skinny arms in her 30s. That's a good sign of like, her not getting fat when she's older. But at the same time, you also have to notice the fact that she's evidently over here, with the food or whatever. But is she going to really do that? We'll see. Right now, we're going to give you a little bit of a lowdown as to what type of person we're working with today. Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of a sampler as to who she's been dating. So, she's immigrated to America since 2010 when she was 18 from Denmark, okay? And she also has her fitness brand, okay? So she has her own little side grift. But did she get famous off of her own career, or did she get famous off of the famous people that she slept with? Well, turns out that it's the second one. Why? Well, I mean, that's how things tend to break down in real life. So already, Joe Jonas with Nina Agdal over 10 years ago, over 11 years ago. Adam Levine, we've got Max George, I don't know who that is. Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. We have this B-list actor, Logan Paul, obviously. So, I mean, that's just a little bit of a sampler, breakfast sampler as to who we're talking about here. Just somebody who's typically just going to be a very bad roster choice to keep on the team, because evidently when you're a guy on one knee trying to really propose to her, I think it's somewhat emasculating. So as you can see here, he, in front of 3 million viewers on this Instagram, is going to go simping for this chick. And it's so empathetic because you're the talk of the town. Talk of the town as in your girl got ran through by every celebrity in the book. You can get a telephone book, a yellow book, from any part in Los Angeles, and there's 5 men that have hit it. And so it's somewhat disappointing. And so from that standpoint, it's not really something that you ought to brag about to get with this girl. And that's part of the problem with getting with a pretty girl that's old, right? Now, you can get a girl that's just as attractive as she is, but is 18, freshly minted, not too many bodies. Like we're talking maybe 3 boyfriends, but nothing crazy. Whereas here, we're talking about like 300 boyfriends. Not the best thing. So again, think about it. This is wholesome, cute, like, oh, I'm going to kiss my girlfriend. But at the same time, it's like, how many other guys have done this? And the more you consider how many other guys have been in that same position, the less special it gets to you. And so that's something that's going to eat at Logan Paul's soul for the rest of his life, unless you're a complete, like, Adam 22 cuckold. But even Sneeko feels guilt for his cuckoldry. So you have to consider this. So what we do on the show is we like to basically break through all the conventional barriers and just roast the ever-living crap of anybody that we see and just look at what's going on. So right off the bat, you can see there's a ton of bikini pics and her boobs are pretty far apart. Like actually, they're massively far apart. They're like a good 4 inches apart, which is odd. That's actually really concerning. I've never seen boobs that far apart. I swear to God. Anyway, her butt, no ass. Sorry, no butt. Where is it? I'm like, imagine grabbing it. It'd be like, it really wouldn't work. So just off the bat, is she really worth commitment? And again, all these Polaroids of her naked, I don't want to really maximize the screen because they could get me banned off of YouTube. But buddy, you're looking at the screen right, bottom right. Is this really like, this is your wife, by the way? This is what's on your account. And Logan Paul's going to shack up with this thing? Really? So again, completely horish. Also, what sort of girl that's supposed to be wifey material is going to be posing with this? And mind you, what sort of context do you see a girl like pulling the panties down to only cover like the vag and also like to show you the hip bones or whatever? You only see that in the urinal, like above the urinal at the Hooters, right? Like that's the sort of quality of women, not somebody you put a ring on, especially at 31. You know, I could sort of get it if you got seduced by like a 20-year-old minx or whatever. Okay, but she's 31, she's older than you, Logan, so it's odd. So what that means to me is like she's some sort of Casanova, like some sort of Cleopatra who has a rare case of female Riz, who despite her horrible mileage, despite her horrible track record, can somehow sell herself as a 2014 BMW with 100,000 miles as if it were a new Mercedes. That's that sort of quality. Because a 2014 M8 or any sort of like 2014 BMW has a shit ton of issues, but is a nice car to have like when it does work, and temporarily for recreation it's fine, you know, when you're not committing to it. But when you're talking about having a woman who's again a 2014, like she peaked 10 years ago, that sort of girl, I mean, they're not worth a commitment. But apparently she entranced Logan, and now that it's too bad because now that there's a boxing fight going on, his biggest A-log, obviously his opponent, is making all sorts of memes at his expense, constantly posting all sorts of memes at just aimed at the wife the whole time. And so I mean, it is what it is, right? Just all sorts of random people with the girl. So it's just a little bit depressing if you're Logan, because it's just kind of funny to me how everything goes down. And so I mean, just look at this 30-year-old woman, by the way, with this sort of outfit. Again, very sexy girl in my opinion. I think she's like an 8 out of 10, but realistically speaking, not my type. And second of all, just, I mean, literally every guy has been with this. Like, how is it even possible? I cannot even fathom being around this many other people in my life. So, I mean, she's been tossed around like a football in a game. It's just really weird. And moreover, I'm kind of low energy right now, but I mean, it's warranted to say this. I also like, yeah, so he's just photoshopping her with different people at this point. I think it's kind of funny. Anyway, the point is that she's been literally everywhere. I mean, you have this guy like groping her butt cheeks, which are not even like a pronounced thing. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad, folks. Now, if we were going to look at to her Wikipedia, because I think this could have some gold in here. She was born in 1992. That's not cool. Not ideal. We would prefer that say March 26th of 2002, and that's even pushing it. So again, not really good. Also, appeared in Sports Illustrated in 2014. Not good. Okay, not wifey material. So, and here's the thing. You could have a girl that's obviously a hoe, and you can think it's okay, but you really don't think so. And so, I mean, it's a lesson to everybody that you ought not get with a girl with a bad reputation. Now, am I one to talk? That's an interesting question. Anyway, I'm way better off than Logan Paul. Anyhow, Agdal, which is a really stupid name, dated Adam Levine, who's the front man and also metrosexual for Maroon 5 10 years ago. She dated a guy from that washed up band, The Wanted, which is, I'm glad you came, the sun comes up, the sky comes out, and all that counts is here and now. Dated Leonardo DiCaprio 6 years ago. He dumped her when she turned 25, I presume, which is funny, because I guess Leo has better riz than fucking this guy, Logan Paul. But I mean, even just physically, like, is she the most impressive? I mean, she's just kind of skinny. She's kind of built like a 16-year-old boy. Not the best. I mean, I still would. If she were like an 18-year-old fresh virgin, would I date her? Yes. Now, 31 with the metric crap ton of bodies. If I'm Logan Paul, I can do much better. So my hypothesis is that she has riz. She rizzes up guys, because otherwise, how would guys commit to her going forward? I really don't understand that. She must be fun to be around with. So, hey, I'll give her that. So, okay. So, again, engaged to my best friend. 24 million views on this tweet. Really. Leave it up to only white people that to say that sort of thing. I'm married to my best friend. That seems super gay. But, I mean, just generally, do we really endorse this sort of thing? This is the sort of girl. Look at this. Nina Agdal poses for nude outdoor photo shoot with boyfriend. Wow, really? And she hasn't taken it down. This was from 5 years ago. She's out in the woods naked. Like it's Adam and Eve. It's really weird. And this is way worse than I even imagined. I hadn't even Googled this chick before the video. And like, it's so discouraging to think that this is even tolerated. Like, it ought to be a crime for this girl to be this shoved into everybody's faces. And then look at this. An open letter to the fashion and publishing industry. And of course, she has to use her half-naked body as like some sort of like attention grabber because her writing can't be that good. So yeah, I mean, come on, man. Absolutely pathetic, and shame on Logan for committing to a girl like that. He's part of the problem, obviously. Guys that are willing to give these women commitment are the guys that are enabling behavior such as the whorish stuff that they do, and it's really bad. And so I'm really in a scolding mood because it's really just inappropriate for her to do such a thing, and it's kind of appalling that anybody would let that sort of thing slide. And also shame on Logan Paul's parents. Even though he's not been a kid for 10 years, you ought to hard wrangle your son because there is no way I will let my kid date this chick. Can you sleep with her? I understand that. But look, if you're going to commit, you're just a fucking doofus. Okay? Now let's try to go all the way to the bottom of her IG. Just for research purposes, of course. As we can see, we're down to 2021 and nothing out of the blue. Just a ton of bikini pics, just a bunch of whore behavior, which, the Christian in me does not really appreciate, frankly. And, I mean, come on. It's just kind of disappointing in a way. And, there's a lot of sorority girls that live this sort of lifestyle, but obviously not as luxurious. And these are not the sort of people you're trying to, have your daughter live like. And so it's somewhat of a thing to where, you ought not get into this sort of lifestyle. And so there's literally no way that this girl is a wifey, at all. She's not my type. She's an immigrant, and not the spicy Latina kind, but just, Danish, which is, not ideal. Built like a 16-year-old boy, not the best build, IMO. And moreover, complete slut. Sad. So, verdict is 304, 100%. Sorry for the low energy, but frankly, this is just the most obvious, Jesus Christ. Okay, so Nina Agdal, you're going into the streets. You belong there. Go sweep them up. Go into the manhole like an Indian janitor and go clean it up, I guess. Okay, adios.